Cool. All right. Let me share my screen real quick. All right. Can you see my screen?
We can. And I think Sebastian's on, right? Is Sebastian on?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Hey,
awesome. I'm
Sebastian.
sorry, Sebastian. I couldn't see you.
Hey, Sebastian. All right, guys. I'm excited to kick this off. One, especially with DC in the background. That's where I'm coming from. I was there for 5 years. I was part of a church there called Capitol Hill Baptist, and yeah, it's very nostalgic. Lived on Capitol Hill, so I I love what the guys. I love the work that you guys are doing. Excited to work with you guys. So
Awesome. You don't
yeah.
live there anymore, Austin?
No, I don't. James pulled me up to Rhode Island.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, but yeah, dearly miss the community there.
Yeah.
So lived like 3 blocks, 4 blocks right behind Capitol Hill. So
Oh, yeah. No, it's a nice area. I used to live at the 1331 building right across the street from the Holocaust Museum.
uh-huh.
So I was
Wow.
right there on the other side of Capitol Hill.
Yeah. Yeah, if you live near the Holocaust Museum, there's not very much housing in that area. So
No, they built a brand new. I was lucky. When I moved in, I was the first one to move into that apartment, the 1331 building. It's a beautiful building.
yeah.
I miss actually living there myself. My husband doesn't, but
It's not for the faint-hearted.
Super
no,
expensive.
very expensive.
It's
He
very
likes
expensive.
Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Rhode Island's been great, and it's definitely a lot more. It's nicer on the budget.
Yeah,
So
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. But yeah, it's great. Great meeting you all. Excited to get to know you guys more as we go through this process. So just kicking off a little bit more today's agenda. We're going to just do some introductions, share some tools of the trade. And we guys have the project expectations and goals that you guys have shared with us in your journey questionnaire. That's been helpful. And then we'll get to a funnel exercise that James will lead, and then we'll do next steps. So most of the time, James will have the lead on this, but I will put us through the introductions. So James is our CEO, as Margaret, you would know. Also our lead strategist. I'm your senior account manager. So anything that you guys need, I'll be your point person, and any questions, I'm here for you. So yeah, I want to be available to you guys as much as possible. And then Adrian's behind the scenes. He's our guru on the production side. He relieves a lot of things from me, which I'm very appreciative of. So it allows me to serve you guys so well and be quick to respond. So the next thing after that, we have our tools of the trade. So these are the things we use. This is things you'll interact with. We use Google Apps. Basecamp is our project management system. We do have a client-facing side. So if you guys want to utilize that to get quick responses, to see live updates, that's a place to get it. If you want a little bit quicker, more insights on response, we can get you guys linked up with that. Just let me know. We use
If you
Zoom.
if you choose not to use it, you can just correspond through email because Basecamp will send all the updates through email, respond right through email, and it'll get tagged in our project management tool in Basecamp.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for adding that, James. And then we use Google Drive for a lot of our file storage, and we can share and whatnot. And then QuickBooks for invoicing, and HubSpot is our marketing go-to. James is a guru there, as he is in being our lead strategist. So any questions you have with that, I will direct to him. I am continuing growing in that knowledge. So after this, I will let James take the wheel. You're muted.
Thanks, Austin. Always looking out for me. So our project scope is the first two phases of hopefully a an amazing campaign project that we have going on for CEA. Um, right now, we are scoped primarily around kickoff research, fact finding, competitive analysis, and then really around crafting the story so that it connects and resonates with the exact type of individual and profile that we're reaching out to. Then from there, we're creating a little bit of the marketing strategy that is I think it's very different, Margaret and team and Sebastian. It's going to be very different from the initial 90 days to probably the next 6 months to eventually what we want it to be because we want to grow into that full marketing plan that we have coming up. So very important to have those kind of that staged approach. So that's our project at hand. As of right now, we've unchecked some of the additions that we've talked about in the scope. Of course, we can add those back on if you decide we need them later. But we want to stay flexible and make sure that we deliver what's going to bring the most value right away. All right. And the very next thing that we're going to do is jump to our whiteboard. I like to work in the whiteboard. That's just my style. So, Austin, I will share my screen
You and
with
Mike
you.
Sharrow.
That's right. I don't have a fancy invisible one that flips inside out so you can see it, but I'm going to share this whiteboard. So we use Miro as our whiteboard, and this is not our team, but this is how we feel. So excited to be kicking off. The first thing that we want to do is what we call in our introductions. You met us a little bit, but we want you to introduce yourselves not only to us but to our team, who's going to be watching the recordings and getting to know you as well. We'd love to get name, roles, and responsibilities, and then cap off that introduction with what we call the champagne moment. The champagne moment is that celebration moment that you have. Is it when we hit 400 members? Of course, yes. Is it when we have partnerships beyond C12 inked, and we have 1,000 members that we can get in front of to tell the CEA story? Sure. Maybe it's something that's a little bit softer along the way. Somebody who comes up to you and says, "Hey, I just saw that email. That was an awesome piece of information. I shared that with my whole group." Like that would be maybe a champagne moment. So, Margaret, we're gonna let you go last if that's okay.
It's
And
fine. I'm
yeah.
happy with that.
And Margaret, would you choose the order? I don't know if anybody's joined us here. It looks like a couple different people from the CEA login has joined us.
I think we've got Z on here. So we'll let Z and then Sebastian.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. I'm Z. I'm the Director of Strategic Planning and Communications,
Okay.
and also known as the glue or the central nervous system. And so I make sure all of our projects are moving, all the moving parts are getting to where they need to be to their finality, and that's basically my role. I make sure that all our projects are seeing their way to completion, and that there's no stagnation in the process.
I love it. Z, how should we spell your name?
ZEE.
ZE. Okay, great. All right, I see it
Mhm.
now in there. Excellent. Z, what's your champagne moment?
My champagne moment. Um, uh, I would say when we're kind of a household name. I don't know.
Ooh,
I don't know if you need more of a metric than that, but a household name and a household yeah, a household name.
tell me what that looks like practically for you. And, is it when somebody tells you about CEA and you're like, I work at CEA? Is it when somebody you don't know, tells you about it and or is it yeah, what does that look like practically?
Well, oftentimes, I get emails from people who say, I only just heard about CEA. So I would like that to be the other way around. If I mention CEA, they were like, oh, I know about you.
How about somebody says to you, "Oh, I've heard so many great things."
Even better. Yeah. I've
I love
heard
that.
how much impact and change you're making.
I love
Uh,
it. Let's go. Can we go one step deeper in that? What is the impact and change that you think would be a champagne moment that CEA has had that creates buzz
um, that has had or I would like to see
in the
happen.
future? In the future.
In the future. Okay, I see. So we have our members fully engaged and um, and active.
Hmm.
in policy before the catastrophic moment happens, and
Uh-huh.
we're able to actually make a difference uh, in before that happens, like actually make an actual change. We can actually see that, okay, this was we were able to stop this insert X catastrophic event because everyone, our members were able to, stood up and got engaged and made a change.
Yeah, I love it. As you can see, this introduction isn't just an introduction, but this what we're trying to do is keep digging, so that we can kind of pull some of those metric
So
goals that we'll
yeah,
set together.
in essence, we're proactive instead of reactive, right? Or not us, but our members. Our members are proactive instead of
Yeah,
reactive.
yeah. Do you keep track now of the events that you've been able to stop or the policies that you've been able to change?
Our wins, yes, we have tracking of our wins.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that on the site with some of the policies that you've engaged with and um that you were able to kind of present and publish, but I didn't see progress on those much. So I'd love to see along the way showing, hey, this is in progress now. This is a really hot button. We need these things. You can donate specifically to this thing, or we need connections to these folks, or we need here's a petition to sign. Here's a thing to do, an activity that you can take part of. Would that be helpful, useful?
I think so, yeah. And
Yeah.
actually, we're actually in the process of that right now with one of the
Okay.
the mandates where we reached out to our membership to sign a letter.
Cool.
So I guess we would just have to be more make it more visible.
Yeah, I love this idea of being fully engaged. I'd love to in the future make that more specific around a goal that we can start to track in our marketing, right? If we said, hey, we know engagement not just by the dollars that they give, but maybe even how often they open our emails, how often they come back to our website, how often they participate in some of the active events and policies that we're trying to push. So that might be signing a waiver, downloading a letter, committing to call, right? There might be all of those different activities that we can start to track and measure.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So in essence, keeping track of our calls to action and how much response we get to it. We get,
yeah,
yeah,
I
go
love
ahead.
it. Yeah, that's great. Z, thank you so much for going first. It's not easy,
Yeah,
so
sure.
I appreciate
Mhm.
that. Sebastian, do you want to go next?
Yeah, my name is Sebastian Lascano. I am sort of like the membership coordinator here. I just started a couple weeks ago um, as a contractor, but been spending the last couple weeks pretty much just getting a hold of all the different campaigns we've got going on right now, seeing if I can, make the messaging a little more concise.
Oh,
Just
nice.
kind of thinking about how we're presenting ourselves to our members and also to potential donors.
Love it.
And just kind of working with Margaret day to day on the different stuff that she's got going on, working with the policy team to kind of take in all the raw data that they're working on and see if we can do something with it on the communication side of things.
Cool.
And kind of just, working through all that, kind of just trying to figure out what the long term vision is. So I'm sure be working with you guys a bunch, and it'll be nice to bounce ideas off of you guys and
Yeah.
all that jazz. I guess my champagne moment would be similar to Z's, except for it would be kind of the opposite. I would I look forward to the day when people when the bad guys say bad things about us the way that they say bad things about the NRA today. It's like, oh, it's all those evil gun lobbyists. When something bad happens in the news, oh, it's the gun rights people, it's their fault, right? So I know if all those people are saying bad things about us in the same way when something happens, like, oh, this DEI regulation got shut down, oh, it's those evil Christian employers, you know they're the worst. They've got their hands in every single pot, whatever. And we're just out here defending the rights of Christian employers. I feel like that's going to be a good day.
I love that. Um, do you so a couple things that I love there. One, on the messaging side, just to reaffirm and maybe put you at ease a little bit. That's part of our engagement is to help refine some of that story. So I'd love to hear how far along you've brought it. And part of our initiative is to help craft that into a story that connects to that Christian employer group. And I love the bad guys saying bad things about us. It's almost as if we've done this many times in the past, tracking mentions across the internet of CEA. But we want to track maybe positive and negative because, in a way, I really like that we are causing a stir with the other side, right? And they're like, "Can you believe the CEA did this, or they're championing this, or that these Christian businesses are getting together to talk about X, Y, Z?" So
Mhm.
that's an awesome thing. We don't track that now in any way, do we?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay,
I think, yeah, we have kind of a rudimentary, I would
love it.
say, social media presence,
Yep,
and all that. So I think that's kind of been something we were looking at downstream of um, engaging with our members and engaging with donors as
yep.
something that would kind of, tie into that or offshoot off of that.
Let
But the priority has been strategic messaging for members and donors.
to- totally. Let's if I can follow that rabbit trail just a little bit around social media, any sort of KPIs, key performance indicators, stats, things that you'd like to see on social in particular, engagement, followers, anything like that that you have on your mind?
Sure, I'd love to see numbers go up.
Yeah, okay,
Is
for
that
sure.
fair?
Any hard targets that you have, or should we leave it open
So
right
I
now?
really meant it when I said it was rudimentary at this point.
Yeah,
So, it's kind of really starting not from scratch, but I would say, from level one for sure.
sure.
So I think any kind of measurable progress is going to
Yeah,
be really good, especially if you can get some kind of decent conversion, some kind of decent amount of engagement that leads to conversion to like website visits and all that. Like that is something that currently does not exist.
hmm,
We don't have a lot of organic growth. I would say,
yeah,
and Margaret can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we have 12 people signing up per day who just like found us on social media and were like, well, I want to join. I think it's probably closer to one or two per
yep,
week.
yeah,
So there's a lot of potential there because you're getting one or two per week out of
yeah.
just thin air. So there's something.
Yeah, I mean, the connections you have are no small deal, right? You have some pretty prominent
Hmm.
leaders currently that are following CEA. You have I think, a steady stream of interesting news that's happening, and you're posting on I'd say, somewhat regular basis. That's more than many organizations do. Yours in particular, though, is very topical. People want to engage and stay informed about what's going on out there. So I know you're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. If we had to pick one or two of those channels, Se- by the way, can we call you Seb, or do you go by
Yeah, that's
Seb or
fine.
Sebastian?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, Seb is fine.
so Seb, do you feel like it's which two of those channels right now? I think you have the most followers on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I would say LinkedIn for
Yeah.
sure. I think that's definitely going to be our better target demographic for us. Um,
What's
at
number
least
two?
certainly in the short term. In terms of like mass media adoption and engagement, obviously probably Facebook.
Okay.
I think the NRA model probably fits here. It's like if you want to become a household name, if you want, mass engagement numbers, mass join rates,
Yeah.
you really have to become um, very visible to the masses,
Hmm.
and to those mom and pop shops and all those guys. And then, obviously it feeds off of itself. If you have a massive base of small mom and pop shops, you'll get the bigger companies a little bit more
Yeah,
easily
totally.
and vice versa, right?
So interestingly, I wouldn't recommend this for all of our clients, but I think your topic, the and what you do, I think X can be an important area because a lot of political dialogue, a lot of political correspondence is happening on X. There's a steady stream of conversation, and for CEA to be involved in some of that conversation on a regular basis, responding to things, giving your input on things, I think that could be really powerful.
Well, I've certainly been waiting for one of my clients to give me the green light to just basically go on to
Nice.
X and troll
Yes.
post. I would love to troll post. Unfortunately, none of them have, which is fair. I can't really blame them for that. But I've
Yeah.
definitely seen that where I do think there is a little bit of a meta right now where it's like you kind of have to meme post a little bit and also have like basically 15, 20 posts a day of just like breaking news, basically just like resharing like stuff and then adding your own like little spin on it and like
it,
all that stuff.
the weight of responsibility to do that is overwhelming, or can be overwhelming. And so one of the things that we can do as part of the strategy is maybe to create a little bit of automation. So, hey, we do have this steady stream of information, not just from us, but from our partners as well. We have this kind of aggregated, uh, social dialogue that's happening, and we get to approve what we want to post. And so maybe we can auto kind of curate those things, make sure that they're edited and reviewed, of course, by your team before they post out. So this is great. I love that. Very very specific. So super excited to get that. Thanks for leaning in on that,
Mhm.
Seb. Thanks for leaning on that, Seb. Appreciate it. All right, Margaret, you're up.
So I apologize. My painters just showed up and they're pressure washing the entire both sides of my house at the same time. So I keep moving,
Nice.
trying to avoid noise. But that's how it works. They were supposed to be here yesterday, and they didn't show up, but they're here
No
now.
problem.
Anyways, I'm Margaret, and as you all know, and I am the president of CEA. I wear about 5 different roles and responsibilities. When I joined about 15 months ago as a new president, I had a little background when I joined. They had a website that looked, honestly, not to be mean, but looked like a kindergarten put it together. There was no information on it.
Right.
It was blank, and there was no social media. And they basically just focused on doing one annual event a year and sending the members a weekly, very lengthy email on everything going on Capitol Hill via a bunch of Google links. So they
Whoa.
would just take a bunch of news that was already out there, compile it into one thing, and they would spend the whole week putting this together in a weekly report. So when they brought in me, the team that was here before didn't have the skills or the abilities to go in the direction that we were going to be leading. So I basically have took the company down. I kept Evelyn, who's been with us for a couple of years. She does our finance. She's very good, by the way. But I just took the company down to just me and Evelyn, and I'm in the process of rebuilding from scratch.
Amazing.
So we've accomplished a ton in the last 15 months, but the first thing that I had to do is focus on value. I can't recruit members if I don't have any products. So my year, although I did start social media when I first joined, I think we had 30 hits a month on our website. I now have about 10 to 12,000 hits a month on the website. So we've made some significant increase there. We had about 100 LinkedIn members. I think we're up to, I don't know, 700 or 800. So we are climbing. And X and Facebook's a little bit slow, but keep in mind, I think that's most important because Sebastian brought good points, but keep in mind our members are anonymous and they're anonymous for a reason. So they're not going to engage with us on social media. They're not going to repost and they're not going to say anything because they're anonymous because they choose to be. So that makes our job sometimes challenging. A lot of our partners, we have great strategic partners, 94X, C12 being one of our main.
Mhm.
These people are not political organizations, and they are very hesitant to reach out and repost some of the things that we post
Mm.
because they're in the same boat. A lot of our Christian members want to be anonymous. Our partners want to be anonymous. They will sometimes engage with me on things. I have to personally call them and I have to beg them, could you put your name on this? This is really important for our country. And the more names I get on there, the better chance that we'll have having success getting things passed. But up until this point, I usually receive no 100% of the time.
Know
So
about what?
no
Can't
about
would
engaging with us politically.
really?
Yeah, nobody wants to put their name on anything. They our members are very focused on making a payroll, and they like that we are out there watching and protecting and doing the work we're doing, but they do not want to be engaged in it. They're fearful. They're afraid of lawsuits. They're afraid of IRS. They're afraid of litigation that we've got going rampant across the country. And so adding their name or engaging with us in a public way will highlight them, and they don't want that. So I have to, every member I recruit, I have to promise anonymous. And And that's the way. So we're structured uniquely.
Mm,
And
that's
a lot
super
of
interesting.
and a lot of our partners are the same. I've gotten Mike Sharrow from C12 to come out on some bipartisan issues that help businesses and help families. So as long as
Mhm.
it's like a really light issue, I can get their name on it, but not the hardcore stuff. So I'll just
Do
tell
you-
you that our legal partners,
yeah,
ADF and ADF, Alliance Defending Freedom, and they have the same problem we have. They defend the
yeah,
people in court and they all want to be anonymous. The
that's
people we
so
defend in
interesting.
court, we put my name on it. They want to be anonymous. I can't, it can take me months just to get a member to give me a testimony, even though I promise, I said, the judge just needs to see how this issue will impact your business. You don't have to put your name on it. I just need a testimony of how this, they won't even do that. So I have to pass up lawsuits and litigation and things every single month that I could change because I don't have anybody willing to give testimony. So just FYI. So everything,
That's
you
uh
know,
that's huge. Can we dig in on that a little bit? In your mind, Margaret, you understand why. You
I
understand
do.
why businesses feel that way. Do you think that they have nothing to fear and they should be more bold, or do we have to create a structure that accounts for that, or both?
So I get the opportunity to travel the country to speak to CEOs, mostly the the C12 CEOs. As you know, the chairs call me and invite me every month to come and speak to their members. And I will tell you that 100% of the time they are fearful. And they say,
Mm,
how do we communicate to our members, as our C12 members, and the importance of joining? And I said, at being a theology major, Old Testament theology, I have to just remind people that any of the times we're going to be on this side or we're going to be on this side. And we're on this side. And fear is not an option, right? We are called to marketplace ministry, and nowhere in the Bible does God tell our marketplace ministers to hide in fear. He
hmm.
asks them to engage publicly. They have the biggest opportunity to change culture, and being fearful and hiding from the issues that our country is facing does not put them on the right side of the fence.
Mm,
So I have to be very bold, and it makes me uncomfortable being especially female because I'm mostly talking to male CEOs 99% of the time, and that I have to try to encourage them to be bold. But that's the issue. And unfortunately for us, the US Chamber, which is our biggest competitor, and the Business Roundtable have hundreds of thousands of business members. The US Chamber is filled with Black Lives Matter chambers, LGBTQ chambers, and they're not afraid. They're not afraid to come out. And so they're
right.
dictating the policy that's in this country and that's leading business. And until our Christian CEOs can learn a little bit about how to be more brave like the other side, we're going to continue to see ourselves fall further and further into just all of the things. I was thinking of the right word, but all the things that we're facing today, we're going to continue to be debanked. We're going to continue to be part of cancel culture, and we're going
Mm.
to continue to have discriminated against, and that discrimination is going to continue to grow because we don't come out and we do not speak up for ourselves.
All right, Margaret, huge question. We can almost end this kickoff right here at your answer to this.
Yeah.
How much percentage wise, or maybe at a scale of 1 to 10, of our effort is changing that perspective in your mind? Is that the whole initiative, 10 out of 10, or is it no, it's part of it? And
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see us grow in that, but that's not everything. We have other things that we need to do. And I get it. They're scared now. There's fear. But if we can start to have them kind of crawl out of the shell a little bit and show a little bit more, and not even enthusiasm, just support, connection, engagement, that is a sign towards where we're headed. Is that true, or is the main objective like, nope, we want everybody to be fearless, be bold, take a stance, get out there?
Yeah. So, I'm bold, as you can tell, right? And I've spent a lot of time on the Hill. So my first response is we need to be bold and we need to challenge people to be bold.
Sure.
Now, with that said, I also speak to all of our members, right? And so I know who these people are, and I understand the concerns, and I mostly understand the deep pressure that they have to make a payroll and focus on their business. So I think
Mhm.
it's unrealistic of me to expect them to come out in the way that the country needs them to come out.
Sure.
So it's going to have to be kind of a hybrid,
Yeah.
right?
I
Get them paying
love
attention.
I love that the long-term champagne moment is real boldness
Mhm.
from Christian CEOs, right? And we don't have to define that today, but I like the idea of like taking a big step. In my mind, even the simplest thing that a Christian business can do, and this is so connected to the CEA story, is just adding the emblem, adding the badge of CEA to their website and saying, "Hey, we're part of CEA."
They'll never do that, James.
No?
No, they will not
Okay.
do it. They will not do it. I have spoken to so many of our members,
Yeah.
um, and new prospective members, and they're like, "I'll join, but you're not going to put my name on anything. I'm not going to tell anybody I'm a member of yours." They are petrified of becoming a
Wow.
member
Wow.
of the EA.
I
It's
I
not
think
going to happen.
I
okay, I
think if I may,
go ahead, Seb.
just to kind of add like a different angle to this and put it in slightly different terms, I think our members don't see the upside in
Mm,
branding themselves with us and participating in what we do. I think they only see the downside, which the left is very good about making the downsides very clear. It's like, you're going to piss off everybody. We're going to scream at you. We're going to give you really bad press. That's all instantaneous. I think to other examples, right? When you have these like very ambitious, very polarizing products, I'm just going to use Donald Trump as an example. Circa
mm,
2015, who
yeah.
was like, everyone was afraid to say that they supported him, right? There were
Hmm.
some people that were like brash and they were like, yeah, no, I like him. I like him more than Ted Cruz, whatever, blah, blah, blah. There were a lot of people that didn't,
Hmm.
that kind of liked what he was saying, but they didn't want to come out of the woodworks, right? And even in 2016, people were afraid to say that they were going to support him because they only saw the downside of saying that, right? What changed, I think, was that he won and then things got better and people were like, well, it's okay to be this way, actually. Yes, you're going to have
A lot
people
of people
that,
think this.
yeah, you're going to have people that yell at you, but you're also going to have people that stand up for you.
Yeah.
And so the upside started, there started to become an upside, and then the downside got mitigated. So I think right now we're in that position of like, we have, a lot of silent agreeers, but they don't see the upside in putting their name on it because we're still just so small.
Yeah.
Whereas if we score big wins, I think people will be like, oh, there is upside to this. There is a market for this. If I declare myself a Christian business owner, maybe my customer base will actually grow as opposed to shrink. So I
Mm.
obviously it's a very case by case basis, but just to kind of paint it in that way, I think it's a value proposition.
It I don't this is rare. Austin can confirm. I don't usually go jump into strategy, but I'm excited about this.
Same.
The
Go
idea,
for
the fact that we can get more businesses to apply that badge. Margaret, I'm making this my personal mission. I think there is a real argument to make that happen. And Margaret and I talked about this, 7Z, just to bring you in on up to speed. You as well, Austin. I don't know if you all know this. Hobby Lobby, in their big case, they won. The only reason that they won was because they were so outspoken about their faith. If they weren't, they would have been charged, I don't know what it was, millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars on their stance about healthcare and supporting their employees in certain healthcares. And the reason why the judge sided with Hobby Lobby was because no, they're obviously a faith-based business. We can see that from their mission. We can see that from their website. We can see that from all their materials. The badge of CEA almost automatically tells you that this is a Christian business. This is what they stand for. It's a little bit of protection for that business, and I think that's the minimum that they could do. They don't need to raise their hand and say, "I believe in all of these crazy, crazy things. I believe in all of these things at once," or I stand for these things, or march, or wear a T-shirt, or hold a sign. But holding that badge, saying that they are a Christian, they are a Christian. Their business has pledged to, support and be a member and be, behind the things that CEA is. I'm making it my personal goal. Margaret, would you love to see us count how many sites have the CEA badge on it? Like, I think
it.
Yeah, I think that's something that like if we ran a campaign with C12, I would love to see that. That's why we put the C12 logo on our site.
Hmm.
We and I think everybody in our group, every business in our group has the C12 logo, but it's one of those things that we can again align with and say like, yeah, we're part of this. Um, yeah, Austin, let's make an internal note to put the CEA badge on the Figments website.
Yes.
I want to practice what we
I'm already
preach a little
pumped,
bit.
man.
All right,
No,
so
you'll be the first, so that will be very, very exciting.
I like it. So I like in the future, let's say a goal might be 100 CEA badges on sites, on member websites. Besides that, Margaret, you said a lot there.
Mhm.
Let's narrow in a little bit on maybe a short-term goal for you. Grape juice moment. What is a celebratory moment that you have in your mind? Like if we can get right now, this is so frustrating. If we can get that, I feel like we're on such a great track.
Yeah, so James, we just came out of strategic planning with the board. We've been working on this for the last 6 months. And so um we have lofty goals. We need our goal is 2,800 members within the next 24
Right.
months. We actually have a path to receive that this year, just so you know.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so it's not really, it's might seem lofty, but it's not. But at 2,800 members, if they all see the value in CEA and make the minimum annual donation amount based on the size of their company, we become 100% sustainable and able to operate in all 50 states. So that's our goal. Obviously, pretty quickly. But our vision is really to get it by 2030 to over 100,000 members. So we're actually real competition with the US Chamber, right? So, but we think 2,800 is a good goal. That's what we're working towards right now. And that makes us sustainable
Mhm.
as long as they see the value. Not to bore you, but that goal is not just 2,800 members, but it's 2,800 members that actually see the value and make the annual donation amount. We don't have mandatory, Austin, we don't have mandatory membership dues, but we have like the NFIB, which is the National Federation Independent Business, just in case. Everybody that joins them, they do an annual recommended donation based on the number of employees in the company. And our model follows their model. And so we actually we need 2,800 that actually pay their dues,
Right.
right? I would say
Uh,
about 50% of our people right now are not paying their dues. They don't see the value in CEA to pay the dues.
hmm.
And that's because I just haven't had enough time. I haven't had enough messaging and time, right? Um, to get out to all of them and prove that value. But that's our issue right now.
Yeah. These are great goals as an organization. Tell
Yeah.
me, they're not going to happen in 6 months though. So tell me a 3 to 6 month goal, Margaret, that you have that tells you that we're making progress towards this.
Well, here's what will complicate it. And I just joined a partnership agreement 94X. They have 15,000 members, and they're in the process of every single one of them becoming CEA members. So we're already working on that and it's
Amazing.
getting that website up right now. They all
Yep.
have to sign the statement of faith, and we're working behind the scenes to get this automated for them. So we already have and that's just 94X. I have the US Christian Chamber that's just signed on to do the same thing with 2,000 members. And I had Kingdom Factor with 800 sign on yesterday. So I have almost close to 20,000 members that I'm already in the process of converting over to CEA, right? Um, the real question is how many of those that come over will see the value and donate, right? So I don't have the number for that yet. We're working through the strategic plan to try to figure out what that realistic goal is, but
How about how about um
the members will be there this year.
how about 3 to 6 month goal is this? I'm ideating here. I don't want to put words in your mouth here, but just a thought. What if in 3 to 6 months we have clear pathways for these partners? They not just a landing page, but we have an outreach strategy. We have clear messaging. We have a
Right,
clear ask. There's automation involved.
right.
There's some sort of, you know, headquarter level, aggregator level communication support that we can work with them, that partnership process to get to the individual member level.
Right.
So in 3 to 6 months, we have clear uh, partner member pathways, let's call it.
Yeah,
How's that?
that's perfect.
Yeah.
And we need it.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
like
awesome.
maximizing that conversion rate.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I love that as a goal, especially short term. And that's what we can focus. So we're part one of our the phase one of our process is discovery, storytelling, messaging. Let's really trying to get that right. And then an analysis. And then the second part is building that initial funnel. And it sounds like this is the real opportunity to are you official with C12 yet too? You
Am
are.
I?
Yeah.
Yes,
Or yeah.
I'm actually I'm their national strategic partner. I'm one of Mike's battle buddies.
Okay,
So,
great.
yep.
Awesome.
So he's willing to do anything we need him to do joint videos with us, whatever we need
Awesome.
to do to increase membership. And I mean, I can't remember, there's 200 chairs. I think I've met with at least 45 or 60 of those chairs right now.
Nice. Yep.
And I'm telling you that is a model we need to fix because the chairs all want to speak to me first. And I'm gonna give you an example. I'm speaking with Mid-Atlantic Group next week. They're the largest at Mid-Atlantic in the C12 group. They have 17 full-time chairs, and I'm speaking to them next week. And I've done this with Tennessee, and I've done this with many of other places. And I go and I meet with them, and not one of their members joins.
Wow.
And so it's a broken model because the chairs don't know how to take back my message to the members to get them to join. It's a bottleneck. And so Mike and I have been talking about this. I was like, I've spoken with 60 of your chairs. They all get it. They seem to get it, but they actually don't go back and convert one member.
We're going to talk a
So
lot more about that. Let's put a pin in that. Who is that fourth one? C1294X,
the
Christian
U.S.
Chamber,
Christian Chamber, which is pretty easy. And then we have, does he help me out? We just signed him up this week. Oh,
Kingdom
Kingdom
Factor.
Factor. Yeah,
Kingdom Factor.
Kingdom
Kingdom
Factor.
Factor.
Okay. All right. I love it. All right. So as you can tell, this is not a waste at all when we do introductions. The champagne moments are so valuable because if you probably heard me do this, we're trying to create real goals in
Right.
those champagne moments so that we can work towards those goals and make this process feel like a win. And of course, dovetail this into the next big efforts, which is getting 2,800 members, getting to 100,000 members, getting 2,800 members to pay their dues. So how many is that? We need double that roughly. My personal goal of getting 100 members to utilize the CEA badge, and then right now in the next 3 to 6 months, clear pathways, creating an increase in that conversion funnel that of bringing those partner relationships over to more memberships. Okay, so let's jump over to SWOT analysis. We'll do this fairly quickly. I'm sure you've done a SWOT analysis for the organization. When we do it for marketing, this is so Margaret, you've done it before. Seb and Z, to kind of bring you up to speed. You may have done this in the past. Strengths, weaknesses, internal, what's good and bad internal, opportunities and threats, what's possibly good and what's possibly bad externally. It's a really good 2x2 grid. It's kind of a Harvard 2x2, HBS 2x2 kind of study. It's really effective. Lots of really interesting things that we can pull from that. Just some stuff that we heard already, like our people don't see the upside right now, and maybe the opportunity is number of badges on the site. But when we do this for marketing, I don't want to just see what's good and bad internally or what's good and bad externally. I want to see what's unique. That is the key of marketing storytelling. Is we don't want to just be good. We want to be really unique. The unique is almost better than good, because we want to really tell a separate and specific story. The weaknesses are gaps of where we can help. The opportunity is the target market, who we want to reach out to, and then threats are competitors. Nonprofits are interesting. They're not really competitors, but they're friendly advocates that we have out there. But they do compete for attention share, wallet share. So that's something we need to consider and think about. So let's start with strengths. I have a few that I've listed here, but I'm sorry, let's start with unique. What makes CEA really unique? There are other organizations that are fighting on the hill for these causes. Where do you believe CEA stands out?
Injunction protection.
Say more.
She's talking about our injunction protection.
Yeah.
Anybody
How
that
does
comes,
it work and
yeah.
why
So
should people care?
we follow the lawsuit, and when we win, all of our members receive federal injunction protections for all of our cases. So that makes us very unique, and there is nobody else that does that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What kind of
So
protection is that
James,
really?
I think you joined. So you just joined as a
Yeah.
new member.
Yes.
But last year we won two lawsuits that says that our members don't have to pay for late-term abortions in their insurance policy, and you don't have to pay for transgender surgeries in and we won those two lawsuits last year. You just joined last month, but you automatically receive those injunction protections.
So we legally don't have to pay those
Right. You
because
have a
we're part
federal.
of CEA.
Yep. And then we give you the paperwork and the guidelines on how to file that with your insurance company in your state.
Just by being a member, not needing to promote that I'm a member.
Yeah, just by being a member. And then last week we won, and I'm working on the settlement with the DOJ right now against the EEOC. I just got the settlement paperwork today and I haven't got to it, but last week we won the case that we can't, our businesses, our members cannot be fined for the lack of using pronouns. Right. And that's a real law in the EEOC, that one of your employees can sue you because you didn't properly use their proper pronouns. You can be sued and you can be fined. Right. So we just won that last week. So our members are now receiving relief from that. As
They are
well
getting
as,
money back.
do we what?
Are they getting cash? Are they getting money and compensation for winning that case? Like when you said there,
No,
no,
we took
this,
on the case and we filed the case in order to win injunction protection for our members. So if somebody in your company, James, comes in and files a suit against you because you're not using proper pronouns, the way that you're addressing this person, and by the way, these are real lawsuits that are happening across our Christian businesses across the country. It's a really dark thing. We have Soros-funded organizations that are funding these lawsuits and targeting Christian businesses across the country. We have proof
Mm,
of it. We track the money and where these people are coming from. And so it's a real issue. Right? It's a real issue. It's happening in Florida. It's happening in California. So it doesn't matter what kind of state you're in. The lawsuits are there. And so we don't receive money for it. What we do is if they're a member and an employee sues them, they're protected under our injunction protection. So that employee will have no lawsuit. They're federally protected.
Our coworkers are protected also.
Well, I don't know about coworkers, but the employer is. And so that litigation, that we save them hundreds of thousands of dollars
Wow.
yeah,
and have to
you,
defend themselves.
yeah, coworkers. It's hard to sue
Yeah.
another coworker for discrimination because they're not. You may not have any power, but an
Yeah.
employer has power, and if they feel persecuted, then they can sue, but not for these cases anymore, or
That's awesome,
for
though.
these reasons anymore. That's powerful. It's huge.
Yeah.
So we have these are up on our website. And the latest one we just won isn't up on the website yet. It will be once I get the settlement signed today. But we do this all across the country, and we have more protections than just this. So we just had the Pregnancy Fair Workers Act, which is also the EEOC. The pronoun thing is under that act. The Biden administration put it in, but they also put in a sneaky little clause. The Pregnancy Fair Workers Act is actually a positive act that was created for women that go out on maternity leave, that their job is protected, right? So it's a positive thing. The
Mhm.
Biden administration threw in the pronoun thing in this act, that you have to use the proper use of pronouns. All employees have the right to choose their pronouns. You have to address them in the way they want to be addressed. As well as if I now have an employee that decides to have a late-term abortion and lives in a state that doesn't offer that and has to travel to another state, the employer has to legally give them the same amount of time off that they give a woman who gives birth. So we just won
Whoa.
that case last week, and our members are now protected from that as well. So like one of our board members was saying to me last week, he said, the injunction protections have saved millions of dollars from my company just by being a member. And he said, I
Mm.
don't understand why somebody wouldn't be willing to give a really large donation for that. I mean, he was like, it doesn't make any sense,
Yeah,
right?
I love it.
So that's what makes us really unique. There isn't any other organization except for the Catholic Benefits Association,
Hmm.
which is all geared around Catholic business and Catholic churches. They file with us on the same issues and they win injunction protection for their Catholic churches. We do it for our Christian our Christian members, right?
You're the only one. ADF doesn't do injunction protection at all? Really?
No.
Oh.
That's so
ADF
interesting.
tells you that you have to join CEA, our partner, in order to receive injunction protection.
That's amazing.
Do you have that? Do you have that on there? Yeah, I was gonna say add
Yeah.
ADF there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ADF is our biggest partner, obviously, because they handle all of our lawsuits, right?
Right.
They do our federal
Yeah,
level,
they're the ones actually doing the
yeah,
legal work. Okay.
the federal level.
Um,
And then we
okay.
have state attorneys. We do state battle as well. And so we do have injunction protection at the state level on some of these issues as well.
Is that all on the site, the injunction protection by state?
No, because the state is different than federal and what we can communicate and how we communicate it. So we have not put those up, but we
Hmm.
probably should.
Yeah, I think that would be super interesting, especially
But
as you have those discussions with these
yeah,
organizations from those states. It's like,
yeah,
hey, if you're in Georgia, we have these specific
right,
injunctions as well.
right.
I think there's some the education Z. I was just talking. I was asking to expand on this a little bit because my knowledge is limited. Also, I'm familiar with this process because I've heard of it from Hobby Lobby,
Yeah.
but I think there's education that needs to happen about how valuable this is for the Christian employer, right?
Well, and
Like
that's
this
why we
is,
were founded, right? So the Hobby
yeah,
Lobby case, Peter, who's their general counsel, who was obviously part of all the cases, he's on our board and he co-founded CEA. So Christian business owners would not have to defend themselves like Lobby did it by themselves. That's the whole
right.
purpose of CEA.
Yeah, amazing. Okay.
I have one more thing for you there too. So
Yes, do it.
I will tell you this and do the research. We are the only policy shop at the Hill and state level that focuses 100% on Christian business concern. That makes us very unique. I got 7,000 lobby firms on the Hill. We are the only one that's 100% Christian based, focused on Christian business concern. That makes us really unique to our members to be able to
You,
take on government relation issues for them.
you're saying there are a ton of Christian lobbyists, there's a ton of business lobbyists, there's not a ton of Christian business lobbyists?
That's correct.
That's so because we're family now, we've
Yeah.
signed the documents, we're around the table. If it's okay, I'm gonna continue to poke and prod a little bit like, what?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't the Christian lobbyists also lobby for Christian business
So
policies?
what? There is no lobby house on the Hill that describes that puts themselves as a Christian lobbyist. They might be
What?
hiding inside of the lobby, but we are the only ones that promote ourselves, Christian lobbyists, 100% for Christian business concern. So do those lobby houses have Christians? They do, but they would never put their name on it because then they would never win the big accounts of where
Huh.
real money comes from, right? And where does the real money come from? They would lose out on gambling. They would lose out on tobacco money. They would lose out on all the big money, marijuana money coming in. So they would never
Mm.
put their name on that stuff.
Hmm.
And
Um,
I had this discussion with, and I'll just say with In-N-Out Burger, because we'll just keep this private, recently, general counsel within the last month. And he spends 50 to 60,000 a month hiring all these lobby houses. And I said, well, why wouldn't you hire your Christian lobby houses? Like, why would you go out to these other people? And they just believe CEA is kind of not known in that world for this work, right? We're doing it,
mm,
but then we're not known for it. And so we have big Christian companies like In-N-Out Burger that hire the people regardless of their faith background, just thinking that they'll do a better job.
um, all right.
So,
I just found this list of 30 largest Christian advocacy organizations. Who
right.
stands out to you on this list? International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Obviously, Alliance Defending Freedom is up there.
None of them are lobbyists. None of them are C6s and can do lobby and advocacy work on the Hill. These,
Get out of town.
these are
No
C3
way.
organizations. Many of them are our partners.
Okay.
Obviously, ADF is a C3. They cannot lobby, right? So if they lobby, and I work with their policy shop, they have to use CEA because we're a C6 and can do the lobbying. The Voice of Martyrs, C3. Giving Children Hope, C3. Yeah, all of them. First Liberty Institute, C3. They're a member of ours. Christian Medical and Dental Association, member of
Shouldn't
ours.
they all work with you then? Shouldn't they
They
all
should
work with
all.
CEA?
And Students for Life works with us. Christian Medical and Dental Associations work with us,
Holy moly.
but none of
All right.
them, yeah. They're all C3 nonprofits. So they're very limited to the level of advocacy they can do.
What does advocacy, if you can wave a magic wand, Margaret, and all of these organizations have thousands of members, right?
Do.
Or more. Um, is the ask for all of their members to also join CEA, or is it for these organizations to partner with you, or both? Or like what is the thing
Oh,
that you would
yes.
want to,
Yes.
what is the ask for them?
Yeah, the ask first is that they become a member, right? And then if they have business members, a lot of these guys just operate like a 501(c)(3, they're fundraising, which is where that
Yeah.
money's coming from.
Like giving
They don't-
children hope, not
Yeah, they
relevant.
don't have any business members.
Yeah.
But absolutely being a member of ours and then and working with us, we can do a lot of
Mhm.
their policy work for them.
Mhm.
Students for Life does work with us.
But the Christian Medical and Dental Association, that's huge.
That's huge, and they should be part of us, and they're not. Their members are not.
Okay.
But yeah, every person on that list should be a member of CEA.
Yeah, amazing. Okay. Um,
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe I missed this. So, why are there so many that are not wanting to go to C6? Is it because of tax?
No, C6 really defines you. So the only purpose, a C6 it was built for a business chamber, right? And it allows that business chamber, one, for those business members to write off their expense, 100% business expense. And then it allows us unlimited lobbying, right? And so it's a lobby organization. Though none of those organizations probably even have business members, so you have to have have a membership base in order to be a C6. And they don't lobby. They
the
take on
Chris-
campaigns over specific issues and they bring
Yeah.
awareness to them, but they don't go to the Hill and to the White House and try to change the policy.
how about the U.S. Christian Chamber there? Do they function as a chamber in that way?
No, so they fall under us
What?
now. They're just a networking event. And
Oh, come on.
they're
My mind's being
networking.
blown.
And so the president called me a few months ago and just said, hey, we should be more active in policy. We should be doing these things.
Yeah.
And he didn't have the expertise. So I said, well, just join us. Bring your members under us. They'll all receive the injunction protection and we'll do all the policy work. And I will, and we're going to one of their events in April. But I will tell you, the U.S. Christian Chamber, most of their members, and Z can tell you that have come through, they're less than 15 people. They're not our sweet spot. They're super small.
Mm.
And insurance laws and policy and regulation and all the things that we fight for, they impact businesses when they have 15 or more employees, depending on the state they're in. If you're
Sure.
less than 15 employees, you can come in and be a member, but the work we're doing is not going to help you because you don't qualify for any of that. None of those things impact you.
I mean, you could still get sued if you're 5 people.
You could get sued, but you're so small that you fall outside of the EEOC limits. So all of these are
Oh.
insurance regulations, and you do not qualify for insurance less than 15 employees.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
me before this job.
Yeah. Right.
That's important to know.
In some states, it's 25 employees, depending on the state. So
Okay. All right. Let's move on. This is amazing because whenever there's a lot of unique things to talk about, the marketing becomes much more simple because the story is so specific, it's so targeted, so
we've created a real
this
niche.
such an opportunity, right? Okay, so where can we help? We know for a fact that story is a big one.
Before we move on, do we not want to add the BBI in there? Because that's unique as well.
What's that?
The
You're right.
Bible.
The Biblical Business Index.
So we created, James, we just launched it last year. We created in the policy world, everybody has a scorecard, right? Heritage has it, AFPI, all the big policy shops. We created a scorecard and it's called the Biblical Business Index. And this is amazing too. We are the very first scorecard in the country that is bringing God's word back onto over 7,000 pieces of legislation right now across the country. So, and we score the legislators' vote based on what the Bible verse has to say about that piece of legislation.
Whoa.
So it's phenomenal. God put this vision in my head. I worked with Fred and a group that has the software that built this for us. But we're in the process of launching. Last year we launched at the federal level and we did 6 states. This year, right now, we're doing a 12-state launch along with the federal. Our goal it'll probably next year will be all 50 states. But the Biblical Business Index is our main product now, and it has the ability to change the culture in every state we go into. It is a phenomenal. You go to our website and see this, everybody can see it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Z brought that up. But God created this. This is the most fantastic thing. It brings God's word back into the public forum. We've got 3,000 Bible verses in what we call our Bible verse bank, with over 3,000, right now about 250 leadership insights attached to those verses that talks to the CEO. So when they go to our site in Florida and they pick up, let's just say HR 124 or whatever bill we want to call it, it gives them a summary of the bill, if it's with CEA or against CEA, and then we put the Bible verse on it, and then we have leadership insight to the CEO that talks to him as a marketplace minister why God thinks it's important for them to care about this issue. Right? Just trying to educate the Christian CEOs and bring them back into the fold of being involved in the public arena.
The Christian politicians also, like, understanding and knowing, hey, this legislation is 3% biblical, or it's it's quite the opposite of biblical, and just knowing that, being able to see that, scan that quickly, and saying, well, here are the most and here are the least biblically.
It has so not to bore you with details, but as we go into each state and we score, we and I'm going to use Oklahoma because we're getting ready to launch in Oklahoma in a couple of weeks. We had 144 Republicans, but only 20 or only 50 of them are going to receive a Biblical Business Award, right? So then we have to dig beneath that, like, why? What happened to all the Republicans? Why are they scoring more like Democrats, right? They were getting Fs, Fs, Fs. So our Biblical Business Index goes in and it looks at where the money is being infiltrated and taxed to the bills. And so what we found was a bunch of Soros-funded organizations that went into the state and gave money to a bunch of so-called conservative organizations, gave them money, because this is what people do. They'll do anything for money. And they sent in these conservative organizations and they lobbied to these legislators like these issues were conservative issues. In fact, they were all left-wing socialist policies that allows the state of Oklahoma to never arrest a black man. Now only white men can go to jail. And
What?
And yes, this is real. This happened just this past session. And Oklahoma now has the highest crime rate outside of New York and California, because all these right on crime bills got passed. And so our scorecard found this information. We're now flying in. We're doing a big event. We talk to all the legislators. We bring them in. We bring the CEOs in, right? We connect the CEOs, and then we tell them what's going on in the state. So now we know that we need to go back into the state and lobby, and we need to try to get some of this stuff reversed, and we have to educate the legislators, because state legislators rarely understand what they're voting on because they don't have the staff that you do at the federal level. And so they listen to the people that come in and lobby. So it's at another point that if our Christian CEOs aren't giving a voice to their state leaders, they're being going down the wrong track. And Soros has funded all of these left-wing organizations that pretend to be faith-based. And they go in and they talk to our Republican legislators and they tell them that this is faith-based, that this is faith-based. And they believe them. And it's just evil. It's just complete evil.
That is a real competitor then.
and that's what's tearing up our country. And Fred can give you a list. Soros has hundreds of organizations, and he's got a list of every single one of them. And guess what? We're finding them in every BBI index we're doing right now, state by state. Their money is behind everything that Republicans are voting on wrong.
That's crazy.
Don't know it.
Is there
And Sebastian
Soros must have a website.
It's very powerful.
So let me quick little interlude here to kind of tie it back. You remember when Margaret said she came on board, there were no products to sell. So we have a lot of products now. Yeah. I think the challenge that we have kind of run into now is kind of an embarrassment of riches, in the sense of, like, we have so much that we can market. It's about kind of honing in, right? And kind of figuring out what the two different audiences are. Like Margaret said, the injunction protection, all of that markets very well to potential members, business owners, all that stuff, who aren't necessarily interested in policy, which, as we have discussed, there's a lot of them. the BBI stuff is what's been getting a lot of our media attention thus far. It's what, like anything that you'll see about CEA out in the wild is about something to do with the BBI, something to do with issue advocacy. It ties into all of that. It doesn't tie in it doesn't tie in too much to what we're doing with like, individual members or anything like that. It ties into kind of what we're saying about these policies. And so, like Margaret said, a lot of people are afraid of us because we're so engaged in policy. On the other hand, that's how we're getting a lot of attention and
Sure.
kind of proving our worth and kind of like proving proof of concept in a way for the BBI and all of these things that actually make a difference and actually get us known with the lawmakers and actually gets us, a seat in it actually gets us meetings so that we can actually lobby, right? So all that's important. It's just figuring out how to market all of that.
Because our members,
That's why we're here.
Sebastian said, yeah, the members they're not quite there yet. But I can give you story after story of the BBI because we just found all that in Oklahoma. And now we just found it in Florida on a group of other issues. We've got all these fake liberal organizations pretending to be faith-based, going in and selling faith-based policy that is so far from anything that the Bible would say.
Give me a few of those.
Mind. Yeah, know what I'm saying?
Give me a few of those. Soros is one. Who else?
Yeah, I'll have to get you the list because there's so many of them. It's like,
Austin, let's have that be homework to create a list of fake conservative.
Yeah.
I would say some of that also gets tricky when the BBI really takes off. It's going to be looking for all of these Soros funded stuff. And some of those policies, while they obviously Christians should stand against them, they're not specific to like Christian employers or Christian business. Like they're not issues relating to business or economics or anything like that. They might be like a public safety issue, which then you have to message is like, okay, well, public safety is very important to businesses because you don't want looters and rioters and vandal, all these things. So it's like, it gets tricky when, the BBI gets really good at what it does to kind of keep the messaging tamed in to being a focus on Christian employers as opposed to just, oh, there's just another red meat advocacy organization. And it's like, well, that's not what we want because we want broad appeal to these businesses to join without turning them off.
Have you thought about in the BBI adding the business relevancy? That creates kind of like a secular element to the index. Right. Where you can say like, well, how much does this impact a business in general? And then how biblical is it? So you almost have these two scores working together to say, hey, this really is important for your business, especially Georgia businesses or Rhode Island businesses or California businesses. And it's 3% biblical. That means if you are a biblically minded individual or a business owner, then this should be at the top of the list for you of concern.
We can take our leadership insight and we can have you look at that.
Yeah.
I can send you my index and I actually have it in a spreadsheet that I could share. Yeah. And you could take a look at that insight and maybe that's something that we should do is we should refocus that insight on impact to a business, right? Mm-hmm. Or potential impact to a business and less on the leadership side of getting engaged.
What you said earlier that was challenging, or usually what those businesses or CEOs are worried about, are the paychecks to themselves and to their company. And it's easy to identify, okay, this is the thing we need to address, but it's the challenge is how do we connect how much this will affect your top line and how much this will affect your team if you don't address it.
Right.
So kind of that'll answer that.
Yeah, kind of going back to what I said about it being a value proposition, it's like if they only see the downside, which, Margaret's very bold, but if she's out there basically appealing to a sense of martyrdom, like we need to stand up to the evil guys, no matter what it costs us, that's going to, they're only going to see the downside to that.
Regardless, they will be a martyr.
Right. No one wants to be a martyr.
No.
Which is part of the problem, but that has been kind of a big part of the argument thus far. And I think that's why we're facing kind of headwinds. So it's about figuring out how to promote the good without eliciting that fear of downside.
Mm-hmm. So I keep hearing in different forms and facets, the place that we can help the gap that CEA may have right now the most is around story. That refinement of story is going to be so, so critical. So I'm even thinking that we may borrow from some of that scope in phase two to make sure that that story is relevant and clear. We normally don't do this in the first pass, but this has been so rich and engaging. I feel like we have enough information to do a first pass of this as a draft, and it doesn't have to be perfect, and it's going to be ever evolving. But I think there's, yeah, the importance of this is 10 out of 10. I feel like getting the story. Not only that it's relevant, making the product offering and the refinement clear. I think that's huge. Making it relevant to the business owner as well as the partner, showing that value, creating less fear. It's not only fear based or hey, you better watch out. They're going to come get you if you don't do XYZ. But it's, hey, look at the amazing things that we're pushing in, that we're pushing for, that we stand for. Don't you want to stand, for these things as well? Yeah, and then the opportunity, like the value of being a member, just attaching my name to it. I mean, there's kind of an incredible story around that too. So I think story is number one. I think we can all kind of agree on that, right? Are there other things? I think Margaret, you had on your list, CRM is part of that. So having a better tracking system of individuals coming in, we certainly have that in play. This is a great time, Seb and Z, for you. Has there been anything that you're like, "Ah, I just wish I had this sales sheet. I wish I had this list of these individuals, or I wish I had this thing that would be so useful for us." Besides story and CRM, anything on your mind that we can really help with and create a quick win for you?
We have a hard time finding Christian
Yeah.
CEOs to get to, right? So Z can talk, but Z and I, we know specific industries like agriculture. 99% of the ags guys are Christian, the farmers. So we can pull ag lists and we can market to them. But they need a very special message at how to, it's got to be a farming message, right?
Yep. I grew up on a farm.
Okay,
You're
so
speaking my language.
and
Indiana.
we can look for Chick-fil-A. Obviously, we can pull the Chick-fil-A franchises, but it's really hard to find Christian CEOs, and I think that's our biggest challenge. And I shared that earlier with James via email.
Yeah.
Got about 8 or 9,000 prospects, but we don't know where they came from. They came before all of our time. I think some of them came out of one of our board members' LinkedIn accounts, but we're not really sure who they are, right? Christian universities, we can pull Christian universities. Once again, Christian universities and Title 10, very different specific issue to recruit them in. But we can find them. And as long as we have a university message, we could probably do a really good job. And then the churches, we should have so many churches with
Yeah.
us, and we don't have any churches.
Wow.
So
Franchise owner too.
Because the
yeah,
churches are businesses, right? They're
right.
organizations that need those same injunctions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're already covered because they're a church, and of course they have kind of a faith statement in place. But
Right.
I mean, why not, right? They should absolutely join. I think that's a big one. Can I challenge one thing that you said, Margaret, if that's okay?
You can challenge
You,
anything. I love it.
all right. I'm sure you're not scared of it. I'm positive.
No, it's just
You,
my brain working.
you said you have a challenge of finding these businesses, but you're on the right track. These partnerships are the key.
They are.
These organizations already have any organization that has cares about establishing themselves as being showcasing a little bit as a faith-based business in any capacity is probably involved in one of these organizations. And if they're not, it just happens to be a Christian who owns a business who I think C12 is, we're working together. We're working together with C12. We're trying to get in front of those folks too, to help their mindset think about their business as a ministry in general. But
Right.
that is an uphill battle. It's a hard challenge. Like you have to shift the mentality of a Christian who happens to own a business to think of their business as a Christian, as a
Right. As a
faith-based
ministry.
business. Yeah, as a ministry.
Right.
But you do not have a challenge of having a list of Christian businesses. I think all of these organizations would say CEA is doing a great job. We're not doing lobbying. We can't, but they're out there doing it. We should be behind them, support them. And the very least that they could do is share their list with you in order for us to start to engage and partner with those organizations.
Yeah, and that's interesting. Obviously, I have access to the C12 app, but and 94X, but they don't have not shared their list with us. So maybe I just need to go back and ask for that. But
I think it's
they've kept them
before,
pretty
yeah,
internal.
before you ask for it, I would love to help create a very specific ask and a
Okay.
pre-built funnel that says, hey, we were getting our marketing in order. We have this funnel in place now. Here's what I'm asking for, a co-branded campaign. We'd love for you to send an email and for us to tell a story, maybe even a little video. It's like we're so excited to partner with XYZ, C12, 94X. Here's why this is so important, and just make it extremely clear. This story is going to play an impact kind of everywhere in what we do. And those partners are going to be so pivotal to funneling more people to it. I feel like every business owner, I just had C12 today and kind of excited to, tell people that have started working with CEA. When I start to tell people the value proposition of CEA, they're like, oh my gosh, send me more info. I need to know about this. The benefits certainly outweigh the
Right.
downsides. I don't think there is a downside. I mean, it doesn't necessarily cost anything. Of course, when you're
Right.
in there and you're make the suggested donations, like, of course I will. But there's yeah, the value, the benefit that I get is overwhelming in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
just the story because Mike has done a phenomenal job at C12. He's asked all the chairs to get all the members to sign up. He has sent out emails. This is why I think you all need to join. I mean, Mike Sherrill's done a really great job, but yet very few of them are actually joining.
yeah.
So it's the story, and you could ask Mike. He would be honest with you if you just ask. But I think he thinks it's a value proposition. We haven't. People aren't seeing the value proposition, so that's the
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. I would imagine we have, for last thing that we'll talk about, competitors. We have the fake conservative lobbyists. We also have the friends and colleagues. Those folks like ADF, I think, are absolutely in that same attention space right there. They're like, you should join ADF. They do have a product. They're trying to get people to it. I think it's super affordable too. ADF's program that they have, it's like we'll review some documents. We'll kind of be on your side. They don't say lobby, probably because they I'm pretty sure they don't lobby.
They
But they,
can't,
yeah,
yeah.
but they do say they represent, and
Right.
they're going to be a voice of Christian businesses. You also have the NCF, of course. Are there any other kind of big organizations that you can think of that you're in that same vein of conversation?
Um, Probably the Liberty. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's a Liberty. They're like ADF. They're partners of ours. Is it Liberty Council that takes on lawsuits? Liberty Council, I think.
Okay.
Mhm.
Anyways, I have to come back because there is quite a few of them
Okay.
out there that does what ADF does.
Great.
And I think the main thing, ADF and I, we're really at the hip. We're at the hip with policy, we're at the hip with litigation. They don't take on any business policies. So they don't really compete with us. They will
Yeah.
take on a religious freedom issue, but they will not. I have tried to get them involved in so much, and they will not take on a business policy.
You were right,
So,
Margaret. It's Liberty Council.
Little Big Council. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
And so they don't really compete with us because they're big on, men's, men and girl sports. Oh yeah, we agree with that. But you know what? That's not anything we lobby for. That's not anything we take on because it's not a business specific issue.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of ADFs and there's plenty of policy shops around the country that
It
all
could be
claim
it could be in
that.
professional sports though. In
Right.
professionals, those are businesses for sure.
Those are businesses, right?
Yeah.
But these guys don't touch any of that stuff.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. There's so much to cover here, and
Yeah.
I think we did a good job getting the 80/20. I feel like we have a good grasp. This is a really good start.
Yeah.
One question that I have here, and by the way, I think we're going to go over. Do we have maybe 10 minutes to go over? Is that okay? I'll try to keep it to 10 minutes. Yeah. Okay.
That's fine with me.
For competitors, usually we do a deep competitor analysis on keywords. and social backlinks,
Yeah.
reviews, and things like that. Is that valuable to show all of that data, or would you like us to focus our energy on one component of that? Is it, what people are going to? Is it social media? Is it the following that they have? Is it the mentions that they have online? Like what's the thing that's most valuable for you for competitors and the research that we do?
Not, at this point, I don't know, James, the answer to that
Okay.
question. We we had hired a professional strategic planning firm, the board last year to do this, and we've done significant competitive analysis.
Okay.
And we just don't have any competition in what we do.
Yeah.
We are very unique.
Well,
And
again, I agree with you on the granular level of a 501c6 lobbying for these actual causes. But like I said, even your friends and colleagues, these people are competing for wallet share, attention
they
share,
are,
Yep.
right?
right.
So, oh, I don't need to join CEA. We're already committed to ADF. It's like, well, no,
And
no, no,
we
that's
do
very
hear
different.
that. So that's a good point. We do
Yep.
hear that. People don't
So,
know, people think ADF and CEA do the same thing. They don't know.
right. So
Yeah,
maybe it's an analysis of where they show up online. What are their because I think all of these, well, I know ADF and NCF, they're huge, massive
yeah,
organizations. We can kind of take a look at their how sprawling they are. Which social medias are they most impactful in? Um, what is the general consensus on, online? What are people talking about when they talk about ADF? Mostly positive, mostly negative. We can kind of do a deep run of that. Um, does that sound right?
yeah.
Okay.
I would
All right,
say
great.
also, I would say also, we didn't point it out, but I feel like it's almost necessary to get those fake conservative lobbyists
Mhm.
identified because those are people also taking up the attention of the ignorant people that don't know about this.
Certainly
I'll tell
on
you, we have
the
some big,
So
we
we
got
need to
some
do
big
research
ones.
on who those would be,
certainly in
probably before
Capitol
we do the
Hill too,
keywords.
right?
Yeah,
Because they're
they're big ones, Austin. If we put out, and I'm just going to give you the NRCC, raised $480 million last year, and they gave more money to their furniture when we pulled down their P&Ls 990s than they did to candidates, which is why we lost like 14 House seats we should have had because they didn't give any money to any of the candidates. If we put that stuff out on NRCC, they will come out and crucify us.
Mm.
So the people on our list have big names like the NRCC. CPAC is terrible, terrible for taking Soros money and pushing this stuff through. They'll come out and try to crucify us. So
we
yeah,
knowing them is different than
yeah,
marketing specifically against them and throwing them under the
Yeah,
bus,
no,
right?
it's more or less to know them, not to market against
Yeah.
them
So
directly.
okay.
because they are on the front end taking
Hmm.
the attention share and the wallet share from you or
Yep.
from CEA, and they are absolutely, not doing what they probably are commissioned to do, and had set and chartered to do. But uh, we want to know where they're showing up online, and so that we can
Okay,
Because
swoop in.
I'll have Fred give us because he has an exhaustive list because they do all the research as they're doing the
Yep.
BBIs. They have an exhaustive list of all this and
oh, okay.
something that's important to note on ADF. They really do share because we have to fundraise, right, for us to
Mhm.
become sustainable. So I'm in the process of building a development shop, and so all of those that you listed do compete with us for donor dollars
Yeah,
outside membership. Yeah.
that's great. Okay, this is the fastest version of this that I'm going to do. But we do an exercise called the funnel draft or funnel outline. You've seen this graphic before, probably in some capacity. This idea that there are strangers at the top and there's promoters at the bottom. People who don't know us, they somehow go through some process and love us and want to tell their friends and family about us and their colleagues about us. Most organizations, they're heads down doing great work. They cross their fingers and they hope that that happens. Well, we don't want to do it by hope anymore. We want to do it on purpose and really track every stage. Turn a stranger into a visitor, visit us at an event, visit us at a speaking engagement. Today, they can visit us online on our social channels. As they visit, we don't want them to just stop by and say, Margaret was an amazing speaker. See you later, and I'll never see you again. No, we want to capture their information like in the BBI, we want to say, well, give us your email. We'll send you this report. Or, c- just commit to this one cause that that just put your email address, sign the petition. We capture their lead somehow, and then we can get to that end result. In this case, it's probably not a customer. It's someone joining as a member, and not only as a member, but a committed dues paying member who pays regularly. And then not just that, but we want those folks to become promoters. So we incentivize them, encourage them, ask them to promote, kind of keep this flywheel spinning. So attract, convert, close the light. Those are the 4 steps. And what we normally do is we'll go through your actual funnel. And we don't have time to do all of this today, but I want to get it from a high level because you mentioned, well, certainly we have our website. And we're gonna color code this a little bit with, we know that story is gonna play a big impact into what we need to refine today, or tomorrow. Website is a an owned entity. We have our website, we have our social channels, we have this 7 to 9,000 person email list. You talked about events. Margaret doesn't sleep at all and goes to many events all over the country. Are there any key events that you speak at, or things that you kind of rely on? These are your big events throughout the year. Do you have a big fundraising
We're just
event that you
now,
do?
yeah, we're just now starting to put that together. So we have an annual event in DC, which is our annual policy summit, right? We're
Okay.
taking it to the White House. And so that's really our big thing. It'll be in September this year. And
Okay.
then we do these BBI state events, right? Where we're
Okay.
introducing CEOs to lawmakers and giving awards. We're going to do
Nice.
four of those this year. And that's really just due to funding. It's very expensive. So I have to get sponsors, right?
Okay.
And they're very time consuming. So that's what we're doing right now. But eventually you'll see a lot more BBI state events as we
Okay.
go into more states. And then I get asked
Anything?
to get like, convene or a C12, and
Sure.
I do all that on top of this stuff.
That's amazing. Yeah. Your bed must still be wrapped in the
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well, I'm
um
leaving for a 3-week trip on Monday. So that'll give you an idea.
nice. That's great. Okay. Anything else major that you're doing in your marketing efforts today that that you believe is worthwhile to talk about?
I'll leave that up to Sebastian. Sebastian, I've really tried to change the messaging. But no marketing's ever been done before I came to CEA. And so we're really just starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really just depends on who your audience is. Like, are you talking about like for the masses? Are you talking about for potential members, existing members?
Everybody.
So,
Let's focus on partners because I think we would love to help out with the entire campaign of CEA.
mhm.
But the best bang for the buck right now is with your partners because there's potentially a dozen targets that can become tens of thousands of
Right.
members. And so that is the most economical way to kind of get to the goals that we're trying to get to. You're going to spend more money and it's going to be a much bigger system that we need to build for reaching an individual business owner. And I don't, even though we want that,
Mhm.
we have this kind of B to B to C play that I think is going to be the most effective. So we have
Gotcha.
BBI as the content offer. This is great. You have an excellent piece of content offer. We can probably create more of these things. Let me just kind of list off a few things like mailers. Have we ever done that, or do we want to do that?
Not really.
Okay.
We did a mail campaign this year just to all of our members, to try to do a fundraising ask.
Okay.
But we only wound up getting 2 checks out of it. So
Yeah,
it's
it's not super effective. Let me
uh,
I'll just put that in as what you're doing now.
yeah,
And maybe I'll cross that
like an
out.
annual fundraising campaign.
Okay. Um, do you are there any other sort of marketing things that you have talked about that you know for sure that you want to do? Um, we know that we want a CRM. I'll put that over here.
Well, we have Zoho today.
Ah, yes. Okay, but we want a better CRM.
And we put in, that's just a little side story, but we've hired a consultant and we've put in a lot of money to get this CRM working.
Mm.
So we're kind of committed to trying to use it.
Okay.
And it's not terrible, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, and Z could pull her hair out on this. She spent the last 6 months of her life learning this system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I'll give you my honest feedback. I think Zoho is some systems better than no system.
Right.
Zoho is among the top 10, I would say. I'll say that I love this is my favorite quote. I've never met a CRM I've liked.
Okay.
I've I've hated almost every CRM I've used. I hate HubSpot the least. HubSpot is fantastic. Besides the CRM though, the record keeper, you're going to need some sort of marketing automation system. So there is Zoho Campaigns that's tied into Zoho. Uh,
We use
it
it. Use it,
is,
James. We
what was
use
that?
Zoho campaigns to
Oh,
do
you
our
do.
emails. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It is okay. It's again, it's not the best, but it functions. It's okay. It is inexpensive, so it's one of the benefits of Zoho. There are less expensive potentially platforms that I think perform better, and so
Okay.
we'll still make some recommendations if that's okay.
Okay.
And again, you're knowing the principles, Z. So just so a little relief for you, knowing the principles of a CRM is more important than the technology itself because every technology that we use, they change all the time, and so you constantly are relearning things anyway. It's the most important things are they start at the contact record. We have these properties. Here's how we want to sort them. Here's how we segment these audiences. Here's how we send it out. The automation, how we do that changes all the time. The how we build out campaigns changes almost all the time. So yeah, I appreciate how much time you've invested in Zoho. We will use it as much as we can. There may be a breaking point, but we'll kind of roll with it for right now. There are other bigger fish to fry, in my opinion.
I'm flexible. I'm not
Okay.
married to it,
Okay.
so
Great.
I'm very flexible person.
Awesome.
So if we need to move, we move.
Yeah, that's great. Margaret, Seb, any other things in the marketing side that you are doing now that you're like, oh, we got to mention, we send out these things to folks. I think partnerships is a big one, right?
Yeah.
That we're doing now.
We just do our monthly. So we just engaged with Policy Fiscal Note. So we'll be doing from that, we'll be doing weekly policy updates to all of our members, right?
As
So that's
emails.
yeah, they're emails that come out of
Yep.
Policy Note. And because we're tracking policy across the entire country. So updates to what we're tracking and what's happening will go out weekly, and Sebastian's going to run that, and that comes out of Voter Voice. Voter Voice is geared for advocacy work, right? Zoho's not. So Sebastian will be doing that, and then we do the monthly president newsletter that I put together. Try to keep up on events because we do monthly webinars. We bring in
You
different
do.
speakers. Yes. And so Z handles that. And so we do have quite a bit of communication going out between
Okay.
those things.
Okay.
And Z would love help on making our education
Yeah.
program,
Austin,
because
let's put on
yeah,
the list to make sure that we get copies of all of these things,
yeah,
of versions of these. So Z, a little bit of homework for you, but we'd love to see examples of what does the policy news look like? What does the newsletter look like? What are the monthly webinars?
Sure.
If there's previous recordings of it,
Mm-hmm.
how is it broadcasted? How is it, how are we bringing people into it?
Mm-hmm.
Great. And as you can see, I'm going to stop there. I'm sure there's more that we're not talking about. Have you ever spent dollars in advertising, Margaret, yet?
no,
Okay.
no.
So things like that. So as you can see, there's plenty of empty spots in this funnel. And what we'll do next is mark up this funnel with ideas and strategies for how to increase that area of the funnel. So plenty of things that you can do to bring people in through the top. There are lots of things that you can do uh, including video, right? Not just webinar recordings, but telling the story more effectively in video. Best form of content out there. What offers can we give them besides the BBI? Maybe there's reporting. Maybe there's something specific for them. How does it relate to them? What can we do in the CRM? How can we engage individuals to bring them closer to close? How can we create a specific campaign in the individuals that we have and the donors that we have to bring new people in through the top? Lots of stuff that's opportunity here, in my opinion. I'm sure you've talked about and tested a lot of other things, but we'll start to fill this out in a little bit more detail. You can start to say, oh, we did try that, or we talked about that. That's great. We'll prioritize these, and this will help become that next 3 to 6 month plan of the work that we need to do. In addition to that, we'll take a stab at the story refinement, as well as setting goals based on your champagne moments. So all of this work, really, really good work in 99 minutes that we've spent on the call today. So really looking forward to jumping in on this next phase. Margaret, you're away for 3 weeks. Does that mean we're meeting when you get back, or should we meet preliminarily with the rest of the team?
Yeah, I'm doing meetings on the road as necessary, right?
Okay,
Obviously, I'm out meeting with members and prospects, and I'm at
got it.
events speaking and blah blah blah. But
Gotcha.
people know
Let's
how to find
do.
me.
Okay. If you're okay, we'll put a target date out for not this next week. We'll need a little bit of time to prep, but maybe at the end of the week, the following, maybe the end of February.
Mm, Margaret, you've got Wayward at the end of
Yeah,
February.
the end of I'm wide open on the 25th.
Okay.
Almost wide open. Not
All
really. I have
right.
one thing on the 25th, and then I fly back out on Thursday, the next day.
Okay.
Um,
Let's try to find something. Maybe does the morning work for you?
and erase that out of your mind, Z. That means it's not open for you to book.
But
I
how are
wasn't
you
meant for
reading my
you.
mind, Margaret?
I
Is
wasn't meant for you. I knew exactly what was happening.
how about 9 a.m. on that Wednesday,
That's
25th
hilarious.
Oh,
Central?
I'm just speaking. You know, if yeah, I could do 9 a.m. I might be off camera, but I could do 9 a.m.
We could also try for
Nobody needs to see my face.
11 11:30 a.m.
11:30 Central works too.
Yeah. Which one's better?
11:30 probably.
Okay, let's do that. So let's do 11:30 a.m. Central.
You setting that up,
Austin.
James? Or I got it.
I'm just blocking it on mine if you can
All right, I'm
send out
setting it
the
up right now.
invites. Okay, great. Um, okay, excellent. Everybody, what do we think? Are we on the right track, talking about the right things?
Yes, thank you. It's been wonderful, James.
Yeah,
I'm
this
so
is fun.
excited to work with you all, by the way.
Yeah, you as
I,
well.
I'm right there with you. I'm
Thank you
excited.
for your amazing work, Margaret, Z, and Seb. Thank you for doing what you do. We're big fans of it. So, really excited to jump into this next phase. Again, we only have 2 weeks or maybe even a week and a half to get to that stage. So, we have probably 30 to 40% of this kickoff left to do, but we'll save that for our next round, and we'll kind of keep the progress moving. Sound good?
Perfect.
I'll send
Thank
you
you so
my
Awesome.
much.
homework tomorrow.
What's that?
I'll send you my homework tomorrow.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks,
Okay.
Margaret. Thanks, Z.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Seb.
Have a
Talk
good
to you
See you
soon.
evening.
guys.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
What's going on? Okay.